For these two sides, the knockout stages start now.
Yep, losing you're out, and it's brilliant how it's worked out in both the groups today. That we've got games of real jeopardy, ones where we've got contrasting styles, teams with different expectations, but there's a real flavour in the stadium, a real atmosphere.
Certainly Senegal can't rely on a draw. They can't rely for what would be more than a minor miracle for Qatar to upset the Netherlands. So they've got to go for the win. And to the beat of the drum, in what is a lively atmosphere here inside the Khalifa International Stadium, you're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live with Ecuador in their yellow shirts and navy shorts, playing from right to left as we look against Senegal, the African Cup of Nations champions, all in white, as the ball is headed away by Koulibaly, but straight away it was picked up by Plata. That came to a shuddering halt as the ball is played out towards that far side, and Jacobs, the left back, will play the ball forward. It's been a while for both of these two nations where they've reached the latter stages of the World Cup. Ecuador 2006 in Germany, and who will ever forget Senegal's run to the quarter-finals in 2002. But first of all, they've got to overcome this final 90 minutes in the group stages. It's day 10 of the World Cup as the ball is played out to this left-hand side, and it's kept in play by Valencia. But it's the first day of the final round of group games. And Ecuador, who, as Rob quite rightly says, have certainly caught the eye, as it will be a throw on this left-hand side, Estupiñán. And they go back now to Felix Torres, and then across the back to Hincapié. And the ball is switched out towards the right-hand side, and the header forward should be dealt with, and in fact it'll roll out of play for a goal kick. So how have that match between the Netherlands and Qatar started, Masfarouki?
Goalless at the moment, Ian, but a chance for the Dutch almost from kick-off. Long ball over the top from Virgil van Dijk, which is just too heavy for Memphis Depay. 0-0 as it stands, very early stages, but Netherlands going through at the moment.
Yep, and we were expecting not that really to change. That would certainly constitute a major upset if Qatar were to stun the Dutch. 0-0 in the early stages, 2.5 minutes played. I swear those drums are getting louder. Cross from the left-hand side, and there's an opportunity here for Senegal, and it's flashed wide. Latching onto it was Idrissa Gueye, coming forward from midfield, edge of the area, right-footed shot, couldn't get it on target, goal kick.
That's a huge opportunity early in the game, and one that, out of all the players they wanted to fall to, be Idrissa Gueye. Just his touch forced him wide, but before that, it was great play down the left-hand side, no real messing about, just played it forward, good control, and then a square ball into the penalty area. Found all the space at the far post. His touch took him wide and drilled it wide, but you just see, if you can go forward early, they're kind of being invited to do so by Ecuador. If they do get the opportunities, they are there.
Still 0-0, but Idrissa Gueye, who moves alongside Henri Camara as the joint appearance maker for Senegal, with his 99th appearance as the keeper, races out Galindez on that far side, and it was offside anyway, but he wasn't to know that. He headed out of his penalty area towards the right, and he had to make sure that he got there first, because otherwise there'd have been the potential break on for Senegal. I think it was Ismail Assar, wasn't it, who would have been away on that left-hand side.
And this is the one argument that you have with the delaying of the flag, and I understand why, but as you say, Galindez came tearing out his goal, sliding tackle. Goalkeeper's tackling, always potential for injury there, and I just feel that if the flag just goes up, because it's clearly offside, just put the flag up. Any peril is taken out of the situation.
Estupiñán away from Ndiaye. And then gets the ball forward to Valencia, staying out on this near side, the left. 5 minutes played. And then the ball is played back in Capier. Now with Felix Torres, his forward ball, looking to try and turn there in the midfield, but Ecuador have actually given it away. Here is Jar, big powerful striker. Saw him play in the Champions League for Villarreal against Liverpool. Now playing his football in Italy, but he will make his presence felt.
Just seeing tactically the back four of Senegal, they're so tight together. When they get compact, the Ecuadorian players have just looked up and just thought, second-guess themselves. And that's when they get caught in possession. They want to go forward fast and early. When they doubt themselves, they lose it.
The Chelsea connection there was found wanting. Koulibaly with the ball back to his goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. And Mendy did well to actually keep the ball in play, preventing it going out for a corner kick. But it was then out for an Ecuadorian throw on this near side. Here is Caicedo over the halfway line. All they have to do is avoid defeat, Ecuador. That's the key permutation that you need to remember as far as this group game is concerned. And Jai nicks it away from his marker on this right-hand side, rolls an inviting ball in, and actually it was an outstretched right foot from Felix Torres that guided the ball back towards his goalkeeper, because Hincapié was struggling there against the Sheffield United player.
It's quite fun. Neither of the teams actually want the ball. Both teams are sat narrow, sat tight, saying, OK, you can have it, we'll hit you on the counter-attack. Both teams want a counter-attack. They don't want to be playing this football. They don't want to stay there because they have to open up. They have to leave themselves exposed.
Iliman Jai is playing on the right of the three. Jar is through the middle, and Ismail Assar is out on the left-hand side. We talk about him making his debut for Hyde United in the Northern Premier League 2 years ago. He was raised in just outside of Paris, played a lot of lower league football in France, moved to Senegal, then came to London. Sheffield United actually signed him from Boreham Wood only 3 years ago. It's an incredible story, and here he is, starting a game in a World Cup finals and hoping to have a telling contribution for Senegal. 0-0, 7 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live.
He's down on the right-hand side having a chat with the manager, Alois Cisse. Real meteoric rise, isn't it? And you say, looking at the opportunity here, a wonderful opportunity to be a national hero.
Yes. As it's now out with Savali on this near side, the right. He'll go infield. An opportunity now for Cease in the midfield for Senegal. Chip forward. Senegal are attacking. That was a sharp turn. Ball played forward to Jar, and he hits it first time right-footed. Inside right channel, the penalty area. Senegal are playing from left to right, and he's just pulled it across the face of goal, out for a goal kick.
Another massive chance, and you've got to hit the target. It's really good play. Simple ball forward, then one-touch football from there. Well-timed run. He's through, he's on the angle, he's waiting for the ball, waiting for the strike. Just had to wait a little bit too long. Dragged his shot across, but again, another massive chance. And it's not when they play too many passes, they just keep it simple and go forwards.
He scored against Liverpool in that Champions League semi-final, where Liverpool eventually ran out 5-2 winners on aggregate. Didn't do too well actually when he was on loan there for the Yellow Submarine. 6 goals in 14. Now he's looking to try and sink those players who are wearing yellow of Ecuador, who have got an opportunity to come forward now. As Clément Turpin, the French referee, will give a free kick, as there was a foul in the middle of the park, and it was Caicedo who was fouled. Central area now for Ecuador, but it's a long way out, must be at least 35 yards out from goal.
He fancies it. Valencia has picked up the ball, came jogging over, said I'll have this, and he's teed it up, especially how he wants the ball with the foul facing him. Expect a knuckleball.
Well, you're right, the 33-year-old is certainly full of confidence on the scoring run that he's on, but it's a central position, and it's a good 35 yards out from goal. But he's taken a good 5, 6, 7 steps back, and Enner Valencia is going to let one rip. Senegal have got everybody back. Valencia from long range cannons away off one of the Ecuadorian players out towards the far side. Cross comes in from the right, back towards Valencia, takes another deflection, and it's saved by Mendy away towards our left-hand side. 0-0.
He hit the second one better than he hit the first one. He was actually blocked by his teammate Estrada inside the penalty area.
Njai sent away by Sabali on the right-hand side. It's a good ball in, and it's just touched back by Preciado on the far side, turning it to safety for a corner kick. It's a devilish ball in, wasn't it? First time from the right for Senegal.
They can't handle him down this right. Estepinian is struggling. Left him in his wake there, tracking back. It's a fantastic ball flashing across the 6-yard box. 3 chances now. Now look back at this opening 15 minutes.
Senegal have made a decent start. 0-0. Corner kick. Idrissa Gueye to take it. Galindez with the punch away. Fired back in on this occasion, but blocked and goes out towards that far side. And Idrissa Gueye scuffs his attempted cross from the left. And there is an opportunity now to clear the ball away for Ecuador. And then it's Edward Mendy to play it forward to Diallo, and taking over now in the midfield. And then they'll go back actually to Edward Mendy. Hits it up towards Ismail Assar. Jara's actually going to make a run out towards that left corner. He's done well to keep it alive. Block challenge came in from Torres. Ball played back though for Senegal, and now switched out to Sabali on this near side, the right. Midway through the Ecuadorian half, a little flick header. Preciado actually did well on the cover, and Jai goes for a curler. Left-footed, and just wouldn't curl enough from the inside right channel on the edge of the area, out for a goal kick. Rob Green.
Yeah, it's really good from Senegal. Good switch of play, good movement off the ball from midfield, running from Idrissa Gueye and his compatriots. It's just, you're looking at that final finish initially, but before that, because of the tactics, because they're matching up 4-3-3, both teams, they're getting into isolated positions. They're actually winning their individual battles right now, so they're getting the better of the game.
The beat of the drum from the Senegalese support will tell you that they are still very much alive as far as qualification is concerned. The Dutch, elsewhere in Group A, are taking on Qatar. Maz Farouki's watching. 13
minutes played, still 0-0. Netherlands, though, camped out in Qatar's box. De Jong is seeing so much of the ball. Dumfries is blasted well over the ball bar as well from the edge of the box, but a Dutch goal does feel like it's coming. As it stands, Netherlands are going through to the last 16.
The Netherlands were top of Group A. They will take on the runners-up of that England-Wales group, Group B, where Wales need to beat England and hope that Iran, the United States, ends in a draw. Commentary of that from 7 o'clock, but all the build-up on BBC Radio 5 Live after this game as the cross comes in. Enner Valencia trying to keep it alive as he was making a little darting run in from the left-hand side of the penalty area, bounced away off his knees. Mark Chapman, John Murray, Matt Upson, Micah Richards, all part of our team a little later on, and it is on BBC One as well, so you can watch and listen through the iPlayer. Here is Njai though for Senegal on this near side, the right. He's away from 2 challenges. To Idrissa Gueye to come forward. Just to his left is Papa Gueye. Out to Sarr, back forward to Papa Gueye with the cross in towards the near post. Saved by Galindez. They're certainly creating a number of opportunities, Rob Green.
Yeah, the combinations out wide once they do get it out there, because Ecuador want to come narrow. They don't want to get dragged out there. They've got the space initially to receive the ball, but they've got the support as well. They're not got their players out there on their own. Papa Gueye's covered some yards already. Looks like he's blowing.
Missing, of course, the African Player of the Year, Sadio Mane. What a blow that really was to the Senegal hopes in the build-up to the tournament. as it's a header forward by Sis in the midfield there for Senegal, and they want to take the free kick rather, midway through their own half, but Ecuador slowly filing back in their yellow shirts. Senegal all in white, playing from left to right. We've been playing for a quarter of an hour. As it stands, it would be the Netherlands going through as group winners with Ecuador as runners-up. This is Ecuador's first ever World Cup match against African opposition. When they've met before, though, in 2 friendlies, Senegal have prevailed on both occasions. 2002, a game that Aliou Cissé, their coach, actually played in, winning by 1-0, and 3 years later, in another friendly, Senegal triumphed by 2-1. If it's third time lucky, then they're into the knockout stages.
Just look at the shape of Ecuador. They're so narrow in a 4-3-3 formation. Ismail Assar, at one point there, was the only player on the far side of the pitch. They get the switch on. It's certainly the space for him to gallop into. He's got the space, he's got the skill.
Here in the midfield is Sis for Senegal. He finds Idrissa Gueye. Gueye can run forward. It's a right-footed cross. It's a powerful one, and then trying to control that with his arm was Ismail Assar, and it will go out of play. It'll be a free kick to Ecuador. So not only are we live on 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app, but also a big hello to the World Service across Africa. Wherever you are, it's always a pleasure to have your company. And I had a very pleasurable experience to Sally in Senegal in 2003, where on that occasion the Jambars Academy was launched. I remember quite vividly in the barren wastelands of Patrick Vieira, laying down the first stone for the Jambars Academy, that certainly so many players blossomed when Senegal did reach the Olympics in 2012. And I noticed that Path Cissé here in the midfield, he started through the Jambars Academy, and another player is also on the bench in Bamba Dieng. So if you're in that part of Senegal, a warm welcome to you as well, listening to our coverage on the World Service. It's 0-0, just in case you have joined us, and we've been playing for 17 minutes, and Senegal have made a bright start. And they are probably carrying the greater threat, and they've got a corner kick on this right-hand side. And trotting across to take it is going to be Ismail Jacobs, the left-back. So because it's on the right, this should be an in-swinger. Ecuador have every yellow shirt back in and around the penalty area. The referee, Clément Turpin, from France, is just making sure he's having a word with Felix Torres, and Koulibaly is also making his presence felt. So a corner kick for Senegal, it's 0-0. The right arm goes aloft from Jacobs. Hits it, left-footed. Galindez, the keeper, punches the ball away. It's a bouncing ball that, waiting for it to drop, was Papa Gueye. A little bit of hesitation has allowed a potential break now here for Ecuador. Streaking away on the right-hand side. The ball goes infield, and it was looking for the run of Carlos Grueso, but Senegal quickly had enough white shirts to snuff out that counter-attack from Ecuador.
It's on a knife edge, isn't it, when either team lose the ball so fast on the counter-attack there. Ecuador, they're away, cover the length of the pitch almost in a matter of seconds, but Senegal can do the same.
I don't know whether you want to join in, but we've got an Ecuadorian TV crew away towards our right-hand side, and one of the gentlemen has just been shaking his shoulders to the beat of the drum.
They've managed to put the drums right next to the commentary section, which is handy.
I'm just wondering if that's why producer George's knee keeps on going as well. There's a player down on the far side for Ecuador, Preciado, who's might have just picked up a dead leg. So the treatment is going to be on. We're going to have a stoppage in play here, 0-0, 5 Live.
It's an opportunity here for Ecuador just to really sort of check themselves at the moment. It's not quite working the shape. They're being played through very, very easily, and also being played around as well. So it's a good combination from Senegal that they've got going at the moment. When they want to go long, when they want to go fast, they can do, but when they want to control it and play through, which I didn't think they'd be able to at the start, they are doing.
It's a lengthy stoppage this for Preciado. Let's get an update in the other game in Group A. Netherlands against Qatar. Mas Farouki.
20 minutes gone at the Al Bayt Stadium. Still the Netherlands 0, Qatar 0. Another good chance for the Dutch though. Depay with the attempted bicycle kick after De Jong's strike from the D was blocked by Klaassen. Still goalless, but the Netherlands top Group A on 5 points at the moment.
And I mentioned as well later on for the Wales-England game that you can watch and listen through the BBC television. Tomorrow is the conclusion for Group C and the denouement for Group D. Tunisia-France will be on BBC One at 2:30. Australia-Denmark, BBC Two at 2:45. And we will have those games for you, Group D, on BBC Radio 5 Live. Tunisia-France, Australia-Denmark. And then at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, we'll have Poland-Argentina, Saudi Arabia and Mexico. I'm not too sure that Preciado's able to continue. He's struggling to put pressure on that right leg, and he's trying to walk it off, but it was such an impact. He really is struggling to continue here, Rob.
Yeah, he's struggling, and he's been struggling down that right-hand side up against Ismail Assar. I was just wondering. Well, he's jumping up and down now, so you think he'd be all right.
22 minutes played. Ecuador yet to pose a threat, but this scoreline would be enough for them. Senegal realistically need to win, and it's 0-0. And you're listening to 5 Live. Ball played back for Ecuador with Estupiñán, and then it's hit long by Torres. Up it goes to Estrada. Estrada will give chase. It was Diallo who cleared the ball out for a throw from inside his penalty area. And over on that right-hand side, Preciado is now able to resume. He's back on the field of play and seems to be walking all right. Hincapié to Torres. Forward ball. Ecuador just starting to see a little bit more of the ball. Hincapié. Now it's with Caicedo. And then Hincapié goes back towards his goalkeeper, Galindez. And Senegal at this stage are not wanting to press the ball in that final third. Caicedo has popped up almost as a left-back position. Estupiñán has really gone quite high. He's over the halfway line. But Ecuador will play the ball across the back. And now it's with Torres once more. Little touch from Preciado. Ball goes down the line. And Plata on the end of it. Senegal now have it on the left-hand side. Up towards Jar, headed away by Torres, tied it up in the midfield. Couldn't get hold of it in the midfield was Grueso, and Senegal now will invite Sabali, the right back, to come forward. Just touches it down the line, makes that run ahead of Jar, who turns and runs infield. Wrestle to the floor, no foul. Tried to get it out wide from Cease to the left for Sarr, but Ecuador have got a number of yellow shirts back, and it was Estupiñán, and now Hincapié, and the clearance from Galindez clears long for Ecuador, still 0-0.
Ball in the midfield is contested so hotly because they both know that they can attack.
Sarr wriggles away from the challenge, left-hand side. Sarr cuts into the penalty area and shoots off his right foot. Taking the deflection on its way through. It's another corner kick to Senegal. It's still goalless.
He did well, got himself that half a yard of space. Galindez watching the shot in the Ecuador goal was beaten, not by the shot itself, but by the deflection. You just hope, you're desperate for that not to dip. Certainly had a bit of dip on it. Just the toe. It was comfortable, wasn't it? Knew it was going wide.
Had a bit of dip, had a little bit of curl. Jacobs to take the corner kick. Near side, left-footed. Galindez gets something on it, comes out to the edge of the area. It's fired back in then by Papagay. Idrissa out to Jacobs. It's a left-footed cross into the penalty area, and it's a looping one off the head of Abdou Diallo, the central defender, and it's comfortably claimed by the goalkeeper, and it is still Ecuador 0, Senegal 0.
Well, he's not the biggest, Galindez, but he likes to come for corners. They've had 3, they've all been in swinging, they haven't put any player on him, and he's come for all 3 and won all 3. Senegal, I think there's something you might need to address there.
What would you say he is, 5'10"?
At a push, in my old teammate Jimmy Walker, he's about his height, about his stature.
Yeah. Is that just cracks in the goalkeepers' union? If you suggest, are you doubting his? Are you doubting his capability?
No, I think he's brave. He's coming for the ball. He's doing well. He's getting amongst bodies. I mean, you're looking at Diallo and at centre half, Koulibaly alongside him. He's coming in amongst the bodies, but he's just being allowed to do so.
But have you detected a weakness or a potential weakness?
No, evidently not. It's 100% record so far.
Yeah, there it is. The goalkeepers' union stands as firm as ever. Here is Estupiñán on this left-hand side for Ecuador, and he'll get a throw. He was being tracked by that burly frame of Koulibaly. There's been a goal in the Elbat, Netherlands, Qatar, Mazfarouki.
And it's for the Netherlands, Ian Gakpo with his third goal in as many matches for the Netherlands, the first Dutch man to do so. The Netherlands have a 1-goal lead, 27 minutes played. They move up to 7 points at the top of Group A.
And that takes him level with Enner Valencia here and Kylian Mbappe with the leading the way on the for the Golden Boots with 3 goals apiece now, with that goal for Gakpo, and as we suspected, Netherlands, what I would imagine would be a comfortable win, are already then leading by a 1-0, which would mean that they likely to finish top of Group A and therefore meet in the last 16 the runners-up, whoever finishes second in Group B, which of course we'll find out later. Wales will hope that they can produce a result tonight to maybe snatch that spot. England, of course, will have something to say about that when they meet. Commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live from 7, but a healthy build-up on BBC Radio 5 Live in the run-up to that game with Mark Chapman and co. But it's 0-0 here, and the Ecuadorian support you can just about hear over the beat of the constant drums here in the Khalifa International Stadium. Senegal with Cis in the midfield, out towards that far side, played forward by Jacobs. The left back continues his run, couldn't get there, and Preciado will play it forward, and it runs out of play. A little bit scrappy from both sides, and it's a throw at 0-0.
You say that there's a huge bank of Ecuadorian fans on the far side, but these drums are so loud that you can see them singing, you can see them clapping, but you can't hear them.
What was that? 28 minutes played. Here is Koulibaly on the halfway line. Running forward is Sabali. Sabali can't wriggle his way through, but he has managed to find Ndiaye. Now it's with Idrissa Gueye. Idrissa Gueye plays the ball out wide. Jacobs coming forward. Cross from the left by Sarr. Ndiaye had made that run coming in off the right-hand side. Couldn't get a connection, and it just runs and squirts away off his right foot and is gathered in by Galindez.
Yeah, it didn't work out. I'm not sure it was the right decision on the ball in. Not enough of a presence in the penalty area, but again, it's comfortable possession for Senegal in the Ecuador half. And you're looking at Edouard Mendy, the Chelsea goalkeeper, in goal for Senegal. He's barely had a touch yet.
Yeah. And what was that statistic that you'd picked out about from your Edouard Mendy, one of your former clubs, Chelsea?
1 clean sheet, the first game of the season for both club and country so far this season.
So 12 without a clean sheet for club and country. It's 0-0. We've been approaching a half hour of football here at the Khalifa International Stadium. The Netherlands are leading Qatar by a 1-0. This scoreline, though, suits Ecuador. They would go through with the Dutch to the last 16. Aliou Cissé in his grey tracksuit, black baseball cap, His long hair draped down the back of that grey tracksuit top, whereas in contrast the smartly dressed Gustavo Alfaro, who the Ecuadorian coach, who's at his 5th World Cup. His previous 4, however, was working as a TV pundit, and now he's down there in that expansive TV area, hoping to see Ecuador through to the knockout stages for the first time since the Germany World Cup in 2006. As he paces up and down in his suit, although it won't be too warm because the air conditioning will be taking full effect down there, as this is Koulibaly at the back, coming under pressure, and they're managing to hold off the challenge of Alan Franco, and then back to Mendy to clear it away long towards Sarr, but Preciado climbs high in the air, ball headed forward and then played for Ecuador out towards that far side. Grueso has a touch. Now it's back with Felix Torres. Estupiñán is available on this left-hand side, and here is the Brighton and Hove Albion player. Carves the ball forward towards Casido, looking towards Enner Valencia, who'd stayed out wide on the left, but Ecuador lose the ball. And now it's Njai's forward ball, and it's dealt with by Hincapié, and it will be out for a goal kick, and we're still at 0-0.
Yeah, just looking at this, and it's not working for Ecuador. They're so narrow and so tight in the centre of the field that they just haven't got a pass out. There's no out ball for them at the minute out wide. Just thinking that Qatar, when they did have their joy against Senegal in the previous game, is when they switched to 3 at the back and played with wing backs. That would naturally give you more width, a little bit higher up the pitch, and that might be something that Ecuador look at. They can play 3 at the back. They have done in this tournament so far. So at the minute, this 4-3-3 is not working for them because it's just so tight and so condensed when they get the ball.
That's the voice of Rob Green, former England international goalkeeper, who of course played in the World Cup in South Africa in 2010. We've got 13 minutes to go to half-time. It's still Ecuador 0, Senegal 0. And Grueso just dropping up in between the 2 central defenders, out to Preciado. Preciado turns on the halfway line, yellow shirts, navy shorts, playing from right to left. Torres, Grueso once again. Is he staying there, I wonder now?
Well, right on cue, he's dropped into centre-half, into the middle centre-half to create the 3rd man.
Ecuador now hit the ball long. Estupiñán had made the run. Koulibaly had spotted it and actually directs the header across towards this near side. And then the ball is played away by Sabali, the right back for Senegal, and it will go out of play for a throw, and it will be an Ecuadorian throw that they take quickly. Enner Valencia down the line on this near side, the left. Estupiñán, Valencia's continued his run. Estrada tries to find him. Koulibaly comes across, and Valencia has gone down holding his knee. He was a doubt with a blow to the... Oh, he's all right. He was quickly back on his feet. That was a miraculous recovery from Enner Valencia.
He went from really, really badly injured to really confused to really angry to being fine.
Yeah. From writhing in agony and wagging his finger in frustration and annoyance, and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm okay. 0-0. Just over 10 minutes to go to half-time. Ball hit long by Mendy. They certainly had a bright start for the first 15 minutes, Senegal, created a number of opportunities, but we've had a little bit of a lull in terms of very few chances at either end since.
Yeah, Ecuador will be pleased. They've got a foothold in the game, and realistically, Grueso in that defensive midfield role is now dropping in to centre-half, and it's just allowing them to play. It sounds a bit of a strange situation that another defender allows you to be more aggressive, but that's what it's allowing them to do, because they can play on the front foot when they lose the ball.
Here is Valencia, Estupiñán on this left-hand side, and it will go out of play for a throw. It was well marshalled out by Youssouf Sabaly, who plays for Real Betis, this French-born right-back. Missed out on Senegal's African Cup of Nations success, but he was recalled in March, and he's in no real hurry to take the throw down below. We have got 10 minutes plus stoppage time, for which there will be a bit because of that injury to Preciado in this first half on BBC Radio 5 Live. Koulibaly got away with that. It wasn't a great ball out from defence, and Gonzalo Plata wasn't alert enough, and it went behind him without him really realising. By the time he had spotted it, it was already bypassed him round the back of him. Senegal coming forward, all in white, looking for the ball forward, and it just actually took a touch off one of the central defenders. It was Nkapie, which allowed it to take it away from Boulaye and into the path of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he wasn't getting there. He come out, he made the decision to come, and I don't think he was getting there. There wasn't enough pace on the ball for him to skip through to him, and then all of a sudden the deflection took it away to safety for him.
Estrada loses out in the challenge with Koulibaly. Effective defending, using his strength well, Koulibaly. And Senegal will build from the back with 9 minutes remaining to half-time. Sabali is forward over the halfway line, manages to get away from Valencia, and then he was fouled by Estepinian. Senegal have a free kick just in from the right touchline. Listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, also available through the BBC Sounds app. 6 yards in from the right touchline, still 0-0. Senegal need to win. The Dutch leading Qatar by a 1-0. From 7 o'clock tonight, we'll keep you across Iran, the United States, and commentary of Wales, England. But this is a free kick. Ecuador have got the yellow shirts lined up on the wall. The left back has wandered across to this near side, the right, to take it. Ismail Jacobs, or will it be the right foot of Idrissa Gueye? He's going to leave it. Jacobs swings it over with his left foot, and the header was over the top, and it was a looping header from Cease, and didn't really pose much of a problem at all.
No, they almost let him head it. He was that far out, 12, 13 yards out. Not enough pace on the ball, not enough timing on the header either. It has dampened Senegal's start.
It was a poor ball out from the back by Ecuador. Senegal have got it back. Jacobs to Diallo, just inside his own half. He plays the ball forward towards Sarr. He shifts it on the inside. Senegal still looking to try and attack, but the interception from Caicedo as he goes in for a 50-50 with that one, and Caicedo has stayed down there for Ecuador, and Jai, and the ball played forward. Sabali pops up in the inside right channel of the penalty area, and Ecuador clear it away through Felix Torres. Out of play it goes for a throw. Caicedo is now back on his feet.
Oh, that looked like it could have been really dangerous tackle.
Quick throw. Sarr and Idrissa Gueye combining on the right-hand side. Idrissa Gueye's cross caught by the goalkeeper Galindez, and now Caicedo has gone down and is going to require treatment. Whilst I should just say that, there is a statistic. So many happy memories of Africa, and those listening on the World Service will know from Shina, and met him in the African Cup of Nations in Ghana in 2008. He introduced me to Asha, that wonderful Nigerian singer. But I noticed on social media today that he put out a tweet that African sides have won only 9 of 43 final group matches at the World Cup, and of those 29 where there's been a mathematical chance of progress, they've only won 9 of those 29. So that's what, about a 1 in 3 opportunity.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance, but it's still 0-0. It's not enough at the moment.
Caicedo actually got away with one there. There's a 2-footed jump into the tackle with Ismail Sarr. He's come up the worse off for it. Ismail Sarr going down and sliding in. But if he'd have landed onto Ismail Sarr, he's completely out of control and landed 2-footed into the ground. If that was Sarr's leg, then the referee, Clement Turpin, would have had to go over and have a look, I think, with the VAR.
Let's get an update of Netherlands-Qatar as the treatment continues. Maz Farouki.
The Dutch still lead 1-0. Qatar, though, probably enjoying their best spell in the game. They're trying to get the crosses into the box. Van Dijk not happy with his Dutch players not closing down or pressing as much as he thinks they should. But the Dutch still on top, well on top, and still top of Group A.
Have you ever encountered any tunes from Asha? No?
No, there was just...
No? I would recommend her. She's very, very good. Fire on the Mountain, a particular favourite.
Okay. There were just words put together for me then.
When we were in Ghana, we had George, who was driving us around, not this George, and I would sit in the front, and I would be in charge of the music, and track 5 of Asha's album, Asha, Fire on the Mountain, was constantly played. Shinna wasn't happy.
Well, with your navigation, we'll get the whole album in on the way back.
5 minutes to go to the break. It's still 0-0. Ecuador and Senegal. The Dutch still lead by 1-0. Ecuador, though, are attacking. Cleared away by Diallo at the heart of the Senegal defence. Flags up on this near side. Diao was offside. Free kick to Ecuador. We'll certainly have a lot more jeopardy in the second half, because Ecuador will probably think they'll take chances to strike on the counter.
Yep, they'll sit. They'll be happy. They've not played as well as they'd like in this first half, I don't think, but 0-0, they're doing the job.
Ball played out to Preciado. Certainly been lively, full of intensity in their first games. That's where they'd caught the eye, they'd looked impressive, and I know many believe that should they play England in the last 16, on the evidence of the first 2 matches, that they could be awkward opponents. But here they've got something to protect, and they've got some concern at the back now. That was a rather clumsy challenge, and the referee's given a penalty. Senegal have been awarded a penalty. No hesitation from Clement Turpin. It was Nkapie catching Sarr, who was just too quick for him. Very, very clumsy, and Senegal have got the moment that they crave for.
Nkapie's late. It's just a touch, and then bundled over. And it was clumsy from the start from Ecuador, from the ball forwards, just a straight ball forwards. They just get it all wrong, all over the pitch. From there, he's just trying to track back, trying to get round and cover. Makes it second and completely wipes out Ismail Assar. Takes a blow for the team. It's a clear penalty, and you have to say, over the first 45 minutes or so, it's been deserved for Senegal.
So Senegal have been awarded a penalty. Iliman Ndiaye, the Sheffield United striker, has been handed the ball. Estepinan's complaining to the French referee. We talked before about the backstory for the Sheffield United striker, Iliman Ndiaye. What a moment this could be. Oh, in fact, he was only holding on to the ball. He's handed it over to Sarr. Ismail Assar. 10 goals he has scored for Senegal. 6 for Watford this season. Focused. Full of concentration. Sarr against Galindez. The referee, Clement Turpin, just wanders forward to have a word with the Ecuadorian keeper on his goal line, who's all in blue, away towards our right-hand side. Senegal need to win. It's currently 0-0. What a moment this is. Ismail Assar. It's a stuttering run-up, right-footed, and coolly slots it into the bottom right-hand corner. Ismail Assar, with a spot kick, smiles for Senegal. In a game they have to win. They're leading by 1-0, and the pressure now switches to Ecuador. Ecuador 0, Senegal 1.
Massive moment for Ismail Assar, and he was as cool as you like. A slow, stuttering run-up, waited for Galindez, watched Galindez, and as a keeper, they are the worst. You stand, you wait for as long as you can, and it's not long enough. He's just left falling to one side as he rolls it in the other. They've deserved this. They've been the better side in this half. They haven't taken the chances. They wouldn't have got a better chance than that. Finally, they've taken one.
Ecuador can certainly have no complaints about the scoreline, and they're going to have to rediscover their adventure for what we've witnessed in the previous two games if they're to get back into this game, because Senegal have been the better side. They have created the more dangerous moments, and they have been proactive, and they've been rewarded. It was a clumsy penalty to give away, there was no doubts about it, from Nkapie bringing down Sarr, but that was one cool penalty.
Just see when he scored it, all the subs, the whole bench charging over to celebrate. And I know it is a common theme in this World Cup, but it did feel like a real pressure release for them, that there was an opportunity that they have actually taken, because they've had some really good chances, particularly early on. They've had the better of the play, but just maybe that belief is to say, well, who's going to take it, who's going to score one? Well, they've got their noses in front now.
And with the Dutch beating Qatar, or leading Qatar by 1-0, they will go through as Group A winners, and Senegal going through as runners-up from Group A, and so should England top Group B. It would be a first ever meeting between England and Senegal. Ecuador have got just 60 seconds, which makes a mockery of that, because Preciado was down longer than that for his treatment, but only an additional 60 seconds has been added. Oh, 6 minutes has been added. Iliman Ndiaye, good touch from Iliman Ndiaye, into the penalty area, onto his left foot, weak effort, runs out for a goal kick. So it was 6 minutes was added, was it?
Yep, they got a real spring in the step, Senegal now.
Well, that makes more sense. But certainly we're going to have to see an improvement from Ecuador. They've been very disappointing.
They've been flat. It feels like they've put so much energy into the previous two games. They've had fits and starts of breaking away and breaking through the lines, but barely laid a glove.
Senegal lead by 1-0. They've got a corner kick right-hand side. We're in stoppage time here on 5 Live. Idrissa Gueye waits to take it. Right-footed, it's an outswinger, headed away back behind by Torres. It'll go down for a throw. The assistant referee, it went right by his feet, and he's looking then for Clement Turpin's match instruction before he signals which way it's gone.
Independent thinking.
One of my pet hates that. It's going to be a throw. Oh, and now he's happy to tell him where it was from. It wasn't from there either. Here is Sabali on the right-hand side, down towards the byline. Sabali, will he win a corner kick? No, the assistant referee says it's a goal kick. Oh, there's a little bit of afterzap off the ball there, which the assistant referee and Estepinian is getting involved, and Clement Turpin. There's an Ecuadorian player down, and tempers are starting to fray. Caicedo's involved. The officials, to their credit, were Iliman Ndiaye has been told to go away. They're just trying to get the Senegalese players away from that.
Well, Ana Valencia's gone down, clutching his knee from what looked like nothing from Sabali. It's just a coming together between him. I don't think even it was Valencia involved then.
No.
Just gone down just on his own.
It was Sabali who was actually pushed by Valencia. Oh, yeah, it was a blatant dive by Ana Valencia.
Wow. He's just clipped the back of his leg. He's gone down, rolling, he's clutching. They need a spark from somewhere. They need something to happen. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. Funnily enough, he's up and charging up the pitch now, ready again.
Senegal are doing what they have to do. Leading by 1-0. Ecuador have created zilch.
I don't remember Mendy touching the ball with his hands in open play, which is a sad indictment of the efforts from this game for Ecuador so far, really. No shots on target, 2 in total.
Half-time in the other Group A game, Netherlands 1, Qatar 0. We'll get news of that from Maz when we're at half-time here, where it's Ecuador 0, Senegal 1. And the mass ranks of the Ecuadorian support on that far side. A little bit subdued at the moment. Iliman Ndiaye, back to Sabali. First time cross from the right-hand side. Over the head of Sarr, climbed high as he'd made a run to the central area of the penalty box, about 8 yards out. It'll be an Ecuador throw on that far side there, right, as they play from right to left. And we're in stoppage time. We've got about 60 seconds remaining of the stoppage time. Senegal, though, deservedly leading. Idrissa Gueye. Ball played out by Papa Gueye. Forward to Idrissa Gueye. One bounce out of play goes for a goal kick. And at the minute, there is a player down. It's Sarr, the goal scorer, who's just been told by Clement Turpin he's got to get to his feet. He was just caught on the inside of his right leg by Franco.
I think he'll be all right. It wasn't the worst contact, but they've had an intensity to their play, they've had a direction, they've had a purpose. They've looked good, Senegal. They've deserved this.
There is the half-time whistle, and Senegal deservedly lead at the break by a goal to 0. And it was a very, very cool penalty by Ismaila Sarr after he was brought down from a clumsy challenge from Nkapie. And right-footed, he slotted the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. So, Senegal knew that only a win realistically would do. And they are halfway there inside the Khalifa International Stadium against a disappointing Ecuador. It's Ecuador 0, Senegal 1.
Ian Dennis and Rob Green, thank you very much for now. We'll be back to the Khalifa Stadium for the second half of that match. As the table stands, Qatar bottom with 0 points. Ecuador second bottom with 4 points. Senegal in second place with 6 points. And the Netherlands standing on 7 points because they lead against Qatar. The half-time whistle has gone and Maz Farouki is there. It's a familiar goal scorer, Maz.
It is indeed a 1-0 lead over Qatar at half-time for the Dutch, Kelly. Cody Gakpo with a lovely finish, 26 minutes in. That is third goal in as many group games for the Dutch at this World Cup. He's the first man from his country, in fact, to score in each of his first 3 World Cup appearances. For much of the first half, it's been like a training exercise for the Netherlands in terms of their attack versus Qatar's defence. Memphis Depay has been making a real nuisance of himself as well in his first start at this tournament. For Louis van Gaal, though, I think he'd prefer another goal or two just to make the scoreline reflect the Netherlands' dominance on the pitch. The Dutch do lead 1-0 at half-time and they are top, as you say, of Group A on 7 points. Qatar rock bottom with 0. I remember already been eliminated from their own World Cup before this game.
Maz, thank you very much for that. So these Group A games are taking place concurrently. 3 o'clock kickoffs for Ecuador, Senegal, Netherlands against Qatar. At 7 o'clock in Group B, it's Wales against England at the same time as Iran play USA. We'll look ahead to that matchup between Wales and England after the BBC News with Jill Mackenzie.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
For the first time ever, less than 50% of the population in England and Wales have described themselves as Christian on the census. 37% of people now say they have no religion. When asked about ethnicity, 86% of people said they identified as white. That figure's down 5 percentage points from a decade ago. The UK Health Security Agency says around 20 people could have died because of a mistake in a COVID lab that led to 39,000 positive tests being reported as negative. Experts estimate that the error led to an extra 55,000 infections. The Foreign Office has summoned China's ambassador after a BBC journalist was arrested, beaten and briefly detained in Shanghai. The Foreign Office Minister David Rutley spoke in the Commons earlier.
The arrest of BBC journalists while covering the recent protests in Shanghai is a deeply disturbing and wholly unacceptable situation. The journalists must be able to do their job without fear of arrest or intimidation.
NATO has accused Russia of using winter as a weapon of war in Ukraine. The Secretary-General, Jens Stoltenberg, has promised more weapons and insists members won't back down in their support of Kyiv. In the past few minutes, the First Lady of Ukraine, Olena Zelensky, has been addressing MPs at Westminster. She's in London for a meeting on preventing sexual violence in conflicts. The government says its new online safety bill has not been watered down, even though part of it has been dropped. Originally, tech companies would have been forced to remove material which was harmful but legal, covering things like self-harm or eating disorders. Dame Caroline Dinenage is a Conservative MP who worked on the bill. She thinks this change could cause harm.
Online platforms have algorithms which effectively send you into an echo chamber, which bombard you with information that just reinforces your paranoia or your position on something and suggests more and more extreme and explicit content.
And the British Poultry Council says an estimated 600,000 free-range turkeys have had to be culled or died because of bird flu. That's around half the free-range turkeys produced for Christmas.
The latest travel and the latest on the M6 in Staffordshire. So at Stoke-on-Trent at Junction 15, a vehicle caught fire and all traffic is being held back with a queue on the approach. The M60 anti-clockwise all open at Heaton Park at Junction 19 after the accident. And the M62, all traffic was held at Brickhouse at 25 on the eastbound side, but it's all open again now. The M60 again and 23 at Ashton. Police incident going on with 2 lanes closed clockwise. The M1 at 10 at Luton Airport. Spur, broken down van in 1 lane. And the A5 just near the M1 at 11A Dunstable, a lorry overturned and it lost its load of gravel, so the road's partly blocked. And a couple of places on the clockwise M25 along the bottom at Junction 6 Godstone, all traffic being held to clear a breakdown, and a lane closed at Junction 10 for the Wisley interchange. Warner Merchant 5 Live Travel.
The best live sport.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022.
Coverage of every game on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. This evening at 7, the home nations collide in Group B as Wales take on England.
I always feel that Wales are better when they're the underdogs, and nothing is impossible.
This is the World Cup. This is tough games against tough teams.
Miracles do happen, and you never know.
Take the World Cup with you.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Kelly Cates.
As things stand in Group A, Netherlands are going through as group winners and Senegal are going through as second place, which means they would face the winners of England and Wales group. So Senegal 1-0 up against Ecuador at half-time. We'll get Stephen Warnock's thoughts on that very shortly. But after those games finish, of course, attention will turn to Group B. 7 o'clock kickoffs, Iran take on the USA. At the same time, England face Wales, and that's live on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. I've been speaking to Wales fan and 5 Live's very own Ellis James. He was out here for the USA game. I asked him if this tournament feels different to others that Wales have qualified for.
I think, unlike 2016, where we were just so delighted to have qualified for something we didn't really mind, I think no one in Wales felt we didn't deserve to be there. You know, this is the third major tournament we've qualified for in the last 4. I was desperately hoping we'd get out the group. That was always the ambition. I don't think it's going to happen, even though obviously who knows what will happen tonight. But more sort of excitingly, it was amazing. I only went to the first game out in Doha, so I watched the Iran game in Cardiff, but it was amazing just walking around and being recognised by Ecuadorians and Mexicans and Argentinians and Brazilians for having a Wales shirt on. It was like a sort of FIFA corporate video that you don't quite believe.
Yes. Everybody clasped hands, standing on a hill, singing together.
It sort of was like that. And you think, am I? Is it a film crew? Is this? Is this part of a script? But no, it was. So yeah, it was amazing, and no matter what happens tonight, we'll always have that penalty, which was just seeing a score. It's like when Bale scored against Slovakia in the first game of Euro 2016. Once you've seen a goal at a major tournament, having failed to qualify for so long, they're just really, really special. So tonight, obviously, all to play for. But you no matter what happens, you can't be too angry or despondent because we've waited so long for this, and you can't question any of the players' commitments. So yeah, I'm just trying to be very, very sanguine.
Yeah, and you're thinking about what's going to happen afterwards. But what was it like when you were in Qatar? I think people have come over with mixed feelings about coming over, and they've had
absolutely.
slightly complicated experiences when they're here, certainly on an emotional level.
I think the thing that sums it up is that I went to a party in a hotel prior to kick-off, and I saw an old friend of my school teacher, who was the person who took me to my first Wales game, and he took hundreds. I tried to work this out, probably thousands.
Hang on, did you arrange to see that person, or did you just bump into them?
just bumped into him.
No way.
So I hadn't seen him for years. And his sort of best friend from school was the person who'd taken me to my first game. So we talked about how much he would have loved to have been there, and we talked about the people we talked about Gary Speed. You know, I talked about him with fans and all the people who would have loved to have seen it. And then I had a drink with members of the Rainbow Wall, the LGBTQ+ sort of Welsh Fans Association, and they had rainbow bucket hats that they were going to put on any empty seats to represent friends of theirs who didn't feel they could be at the game. So that was obviously a very emotionally charged conversation. And then I found out, later that they'd had their hats confiscated as they walked into the ground. So it is, I think a lot of supporters have felt compromised by the choice of venue. But then again, it's the fans are the set of people who don't get a say into where a World Cup is held. So it's, I wouldn't say it's the same experience as 2016. 2020 obviously was so different because of the pandemic. But with 2016, because France is so close, there were about 50,000 Wales fans, made the trip over. And I think it's about 3,000 or 4,000 for this World Cup, because also it's expensive and it's just before Christmas. But I've got to be honest, when walking around Doha for the 48 hours I was there, having a drink with fans from other countries, we've only ever played 2 non-European teams in competitive matches, and that was in 1958. So it's a completely new experience for the vast majority of us.
If there is one thing, though, that has disappointed you in some way about this Wales side, is it that in the games that we've seen at the World Cup, it doesn't look like the Wales side that we've seen in qualifying?
No, and I didn't expect that to happen. If you'd not seen us qualify, you would think that we were rubbish, because we've played 3 very poor halves of football. We came alive a little bit again in the second half against the USA. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Against Iran, I was really hoping for a repeat of Euro 2020, where we'd had this nervy draw against the Swiss. And then it was a real Bale and Ramsey masterclass against Turkey. Ramsey in particular was fantastic that night. And then we beat them, did enough to qualify for the last 16. I was hoping that it didn't quite happen. I don't know why that is. I think to be honest, too many of our important players aren't playing regular enough club football. I personally hate playing England. I know that some people love an international derby. I never enjoy it. They're always weird, tense games. We haven't beaten them since 1984. And, we need to go for it. We need to take the handbrake off. And I'm not sure if we've got it in us. But we shall see. If we do win, it would be very Welsh, actually, to win and then for us to still not go through. We shall see. I'm very, very tense, / trying to enjoy it, / trying to remember it forever and make memories.
I think Ellis speaks for a lot of Wales fans there when he says that he's just trying to make memories from this competition. But joining me now, Radio Wales sport football commentator Simon Davis. Simon, in terms of who starts for Wales, there's been a bit of a debate about maybe Gareth Bale, maybe Aaron Ramsey shouldn't start. They add so much to that Wales side. They each have a moment in them. How big a risk do you think it'd be if they didn't?
Well, I think if Robert Page does that, and he didn't rule that out yesterday, by the way, in his media conference, if he did decide to drop either Bale or Ramsey, he does make an immediate rod for his back. The result doesn't go their way, and it is a tall order anyway, even when you consider Bale and Ramsey being in the team, even without those players in the team. And if it doesn't get the result, then it would be a difficult question and a difficult post-match press conference for Robert Page to face. It is a tall order for Wales in any case. But, 4-goal win is unlikely, you would suspect, against England. And even if they do manage to get a win, they would have to rely on the other result going their way. So important selection issues for Robert Page, and actually there's some suggestion in reports this morning. I was reading the Daily Telegraph and Matt Law reporting that that players allegedly putting pressure on Rob Page to go with the back four, which would be their preference. Now, that would be interesting. Who misses out? Possibly Connor Roberts. But as for the Bale and Ramsey debate, I think they'll both play just because of who they are and the stature that they have within this Wales camp.
So just to reiterate what Wales need then, it's a victory over England and for Iran and USA to draw. In terms of what Wales can actually control, it is England in the last game of the group stages. Does it help that this is one that they'd be motivated for, whatever was at stake?
Well, you could say the same for England as well. I've noticed some of the papers dragging up that infamous video from of the Wales players celebrating that win of England in Euro 2016, or rather Iceland's win over England in Euro 2016. So maybe that lights a fire under the England squad. But Wales-England games, they're always very tasty affairs, aren't they? A battle of Britain, and maybe that provides its own motivation. But the crux of it, Kelly, and Ellis James touched on this, your previous guest, the crux of it is they have not played very well the last two games. OK, the second half performance against USA was slightly more encouraging, but they're going to have to play a heck of a lot better against England to stand any chance of reaching the last 16.
Simon, thank you very much. Simon Davis there, Radio Wales Sport football commentator. So as things stand, the winner of England's group will face Senegal. They are 1-0 up against Ecuador. Second place in England and Wales group will face Netherlands at the moment. They are 1-0 up against Qatar. Our commentary match is Ecuador against Senegal from the Khalifa Stadium. Stephen Warnock is watching that one for us. It's come down to a penalty at the end, but Ecuador, who in theory should have been a bit stronger in this, have been disappointing.
Yeah, they have. I just wonder about the mindset going into the game, whether they thought a draw would be enough, and they just haven't brought that energy. Gustavo Alfaro will probably make a couple of changes at half-time and try and bring a bit more to the game in the second half.
Stephen, we'll speak to you at full-time in this one as you watch your sweepstake boys Ecuador in action against Senegal, who are winning. Your commentary team for this one, Rob Green and Ian Dennis.
Underway in the second half. Ecuador have made a couple of changes as well. Jeremy Sarmiento of Brighton and Hove Albion has come on to replace Alan Franco in the midfield, and Jose Cifuentes has also come on, and he has replaced Carlos Grueso in the midfield too. So they'll line up with Galindez in goal, Preciado, Hincapié, Torres and Estupiñán. The midfield of Sarmiento, Casado and Cifuentes, with Plata, Valencia and Estrado. Yellow shirts, navy shorts, and in this second half playing from left to right as we look, and they need a goal because they are trailing by 1-0 and they had to avoid defeat. Senegal all in white, Edouard Mendy, back four of Sabali, Koulibaly, Diallo and Jacobs, and then it's Cease, Idrissa Gueye and Pape Gueye, with Sarr on the right, Jar through the middle and Iliman and Jai down the right-hand side. There's an injury and there's been another goal in the other game in Group A. Maz Farouki.
Frankie de Jong has put the Netherlands 2-0 up against Qatar. It was a tap-in for him after Memphis Depay's shot was blocked by Barsham into his path. The Netherlands look like they're going to progress from this group as group winners. Netherlands 2, Qatar 0.
So the Netherlands will play the runners-up in Group B. Which, of course, we will find out after the game has finished. Kick-off 7 o'clock. As soon as this match is over, we'll be over to Mark Chapman and co. for Wales, England, and the United States against Iran. But Ecuador have got to put in an improved performance. They had it in their hands, it was in their grasp, their destiny was in their own hands. But they really have toiled so far, Rob Green.
Yeah, they've been flat, and you wonder when the chat at half-time, you turn around and say, if we're going to go out, let's not go out like this, because this is pretty tepid. This isn't our identity as a team. This isn't what they brought to the tournament so far. They've changed formation. They've gone to a 4-4-2, and Valencia going straight up top with Estrada, Plato on the right, Sarmiento on the left, and almost a 4-2-2-2, as we've seen quite often in the Premier League this season, and the wide men coming narrow. So Maybe it'll bring a change, maybe it'll bring a spark. You certainly do need to change a difference in intensity.
Ball at the back with Piero Hincapié. He gave away the penalty. Now with Felix Torres across to this near side for Preciado, the right back. Plays the ball forward. It's laid off. They were looking for a little bit of an interchange there, but unable to find their way through, so they have to work it back. Hincapié comes forward from defence now, his central defensive role. Ball is rolled out square, and the shot from distance from Cifuentes comfortably saved by Edouard Mendy along the ground, right-footed from a good 30 yards out from goal. And he had a good view of that all the way through, and he was just down on one knee, no problems. Yeah,
comfortable, but a bit more of an idea of how to play, a bit more of an idea of keeping the ball in the opponent's half from Ecuador. You almost get the impression that it could be a role reversal in this half, where Senegal don't have to chase it now all of a sudden, might be lulled into sitting back and losing their way a bit. Ecuador, with the Valencia and Estrada up front, having to force it.
Because all of a sudden it's Senegal who have something to protect. They had to be the proactive side, and they certainly were in the first half, but they have to win. Just the one goal changes everything. Ecuador only have to avoid defeat. The Dutch are leading by 2-0. Ecuador have been awarded a free kick, far side the left, 10 yards inside the Senegal half. The Senegal drums continue to beat away towards our right-hand side. Quite a high line from Senegal, all in white, to try and protect Edouard Mendy as best they can. Estepina searching, free kick from that left-hand side. And just about make out the voices of the large Ecuadorian support, but nothing really comes from that. It was hit, it was long, it was hopeful. Senegal have a free kick.
It's a real waste, the free kick from deep. Ecuador have got, I would say, not the biggest team in the world, and then you look up, and in the centre of the goal, you've got Cease, you've got Diallo, you've got Koulibaly, who are towering over them. And they just hoss it in there. They just throw it in there and hope for the best. You're thinking, no, you've got to do something different, because you're just not going to win the ball.
Long throw from Jacobs, runs away off Jar, and out it goes for a goal kick. Certainly this Ecuadorian side, who when they took on the Dutch at 25 years and 256 days, it was their average age of their side was their youngest ever at a World Cup. They haven't been able to replicate anywhere near the same levels of energy as they have in their previous two matches. Sabali, free kick, he was fouled. He was tucked inside, and as he just stepped forward, he was caught, and it will be a free kick to Senegal.
He was lucky as well. Just got caught, as you say, Dano. He lost control of the ball, struggling on the top of the foot. Estepinian had won it and played and was away. Sabali, a little bit fortunate.
The only thing about Senegal, and you mentioned about Mendy's dreadful record for club and country, Chelsea and Senegal without keeping a clean sheet since the opening day against Everton. Senegal as a country, one clean sheet in their last 10 appearances at a World Cup, and that was of course in that stunning win against France in 2002. Cissé was captain of Senegal that day, watching down below in that expansive technical area in his grey tracksuit top with a black baseball cap, the former Birmingham Portsmouth midfielder, now of course the manager. 7.5 years he's been in charge. Of the coaches out here at the World Cup, only Didier Deschamps of France and Fernando Santos of Portugal have had longer spells in charge of their respective teams, and he's certainly built a solid foundation. They've only conceded 62 goals in 97 games. Ecuador, though, are coming forward. Preciado, right-hand side with a cross. On the stretch was Cease to clear the ball away. It goes out for a throw to Ecuador. They want to take it quickly. Cifuentes plays the ball back to the halfway line. Torres goes square. Hincapié out towards the far side. Ball hit forward along the ground. Ecuador with Ena Valencia. Hasn't had anywhere near a sniff of goal of looking for that record-breaking 7th successive goal, but they are attacking. Coming back to help out. Idrissa Gueye on the edge of his own penalty area. Koulibaly marshalling that defence. They push on out. Ecuador, though, have the ball back in the centre circle. 8 minutes into the second half. Ecuador starting to see a lot more of the ball, as you'd expect for a side that needs an equaliser on BBC Radio 5 Live. Out it goes towards the far side, the left. Estupiñán, who will give the decision, and once again it will go in favour of Ecuador.
But it's better from Ecuador. They've got more attacking options up front. They've got more players in advanced positions, but also in better positions. So you have Sisso's the defensive midfielder for Senegal, and they're just taking up positions either side of him. Plateau now, it's done.
His forward ball was a curling one to the edge of the area. It was looking to Ena Valencia, who just couldn't quite control it, and the bounce deceived his left foot around knee high, and it went out for a goal kick.
But because the more bodies are forward, like just in that instance there, it allows Bato to tuck in and say, right, okay, I can pick up a position that I wasn't taking in the first half, and that gives my teammates an option. And I'll ask a different question of Senegal. They've not sussed it out yet. They haven't really adjusted.
Ecuador come into this game on a good run of form. They've only lost one of their last 17. That was against Paraguay back in March. But they are trailing by 1-0. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds for this final match in Group A, where the Dutch going through as Group A winners, leading Qatar 2-0. Idrissa Gueye for Senegal, who'll be joining them in the last 16 to join France, Brazil and Portugal, who'd already secured their last 16 berths. Ball hit long, up towards Plata. It'll kick on through towards Edouard Mendy. And as soon as this game is finished, Wales, England, Iran, the United States. Mark Chapman, John Murray, Matt Upson, Micah Richards, BBC One. You can watch and listen through the BBC iPlayer for World Cup Extra, for what should be a cracking listen. Senegal with Sis. Out to Jacobs, the left back. Goes back towards his central defender, Abdou Diallo. Hits it right-footed. Estupiñán, though, wins the ball for Ecuador. He's just inside his own half. Inside to Caicedo. Drives forward. Ecuador holding the ball up in the midfield. Back to Torres. Out to the right-hand side. Cifuentes. Preciado came under pressure. Quite a high line from Senegal, Rob.
Yeah, high line without a lot of pressure. They're going to have to get it right. They're allowing Ecuador just about into their half. That's the trigger. The ball gets over the halfway line. That's when we press. Let's hold a shape. That's what we said in the second half. When they've got something to sit on, are they going to sit? Well, they're waiting. They're waiting and biding the time.
Ball goes out to Preciado, but Jacobs will head it away, the left back for Senegal. All in white, playing from right to left as we look. Here is Cifuentes. Torres, the central defender. Nkapie will look for an opportunity to try and redeem himself after giving away the penalty that was conferred by Sarr just before half-time. That is the difference between the two. 12 minutes into the second half. Certainly the smartly dressed coach, Gustavo Alfaro, is urging the yellow shirts to get forward. Estupiñán has come into a central area. Creates Sarmiento to get a little bit of width on that left-hand side, and here is the Brighton player. The two Brighton players creating the width for Ecuador on that left-hand side. Estupiñán with the cross, and the header running wide from Michael Estrada. He was always running away from goal, and he had to stoop a fraction as well. It lacked the direction and it lacked the power.
Yeah, it wasn't a great ball in, and also because it was a slow build-up, Senegal was set in the middle. Two centre-halves and the far full-back. That's what you want in front of your goal. They had it set up perfectly. If you're going to score a header, it's going to have to be an absolute worldie from there. It wasn't.
Ecuador, who in their opening two games had faced just 7 shots. They'd faced 55 in the group stages at the World Cup in Brazil. But Senegal deservedly leading. They were the team on the front foot in the first half, and they got that breakthrough goal courtesy of a penalty. And Ecuador, who only had to avoid defeat, are looking for the equaliser. Estrada just outside the centre circle. Referee spotted an infringement and gives a free kick to Ecuador in the centre circle. And we've been playing for nearly an hour now here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Rick and Rachel back from 5 Live Breakfast at 6 in the morning. Rick Edwards live in Doha. There'll be reflections and analysis. So, of course, Wales against England. Who's going home? Who made it through? All the questions will be supplied later on tonight. And then a chance to dissect that in the morning. And don't forget, of course, the World Cup Daily podcast, always available through BBC Sounds for the remainder of the tournament. This is day 10 of the World Cup. First day of the final round of group games. And at the minute, it's the Dutch and Senegal who are going through from Group A. And a free kick to Senegal deep inside their penalty area. They protected Mendy well.
Yeah, and they've got a good shape now. They've just adjusted after saying that they haven't been able to get it right. They've just dropped another man into midfield. They're just sitting a little bit deeper, a little bit narrower. And actually the intensity is there when they come into their areas. You see, they know what they want to do, conserve their energy, just sit and wait, and then when the chance is, let's pounce, let's go as a group. And they're doing that well at the moment.
Mendy clears the ball away, the Chelsea keeper, and it's a former Chelsea keeper who's just sat along to my right-hand side, Rob Green, former England international, as Senegal are attacking, and Senegal get a free kick for a challenge from Preciado, and that was on Sarr on this left-hand side, just inside the 30-yard mark. And it's going to be a free kick, which will mean that Jacobs has got that potential to lift one in with his left foot from this near side to left.
Yeah, and they've got held a really high line here on the penalty area, edge of the penalty area. So as a left footer, you've got a great big area between the goalkeeper, who's going to be 4 or 5 yards out. So it's 13, 14 yards to hit. Just ask your teammates, go and attack that space.
Idrissa Gueye is also there if he wants the in-swinger off his right foot on this near side to left. Ecuador have got everybody back. It is the in-swinger from Idrissa Gueye, and it was headed out well on the edge of the area by Caicedo. Estepina will keep the ball in play, plays it on the inside. Potential break is on. Ecuador couldn't take it in their stride with Sarmiento. Swept long downfield, caught by Galindez, the Ecuador goalkeeper, and Ecuador now through their central defenders, Torres. But because the press from Sarr, who's a lone raider charging at the goalkeeper, they have to switch it out towards that far side. But Senegal's press has actually seen a turnover in play, and Senegal now go up towards Sarr, but he's offside. He was fractionally offside in a central position.
Yeah, unfortunate. Just timed it off fraction early, that little run, and had to check. He was offside because it was a good position and a few players forward.
Ecuador have a number of substitutes warming up down below, and there is activity. And it is going to be Djorkaeff Riasco who's going to be coming on for Ecuador. He's a forward, he's 23 years of age. He was named after Youri Djorkaeff, the former Bolton player, a World Cup winner, of course, with France in 1998. His father, Nisa, was a fullback. 57 caps, part of Ecuador's team that reached the World Cup in 2006. So Ecuador are going to be making a change, and it's an attacking change being made by Gustavo Alfaro. But Senegal have been awarded a free kick. So whilst he gets his final instructions, Senegal, who lead by 1-0, and they're happy with the scoreline. They're leading by that slender margin. Jacobs goes long, cleared away by Estepina. Now it's with Papa Gueye. Back to Sabali, forward ball. Iliman Ndiaye keeps the ball in play, the Sheffield United player, and they go all the way back to Edouard Mendy. We will go to Maz Farouki watching the Netherlands-Qatar.
66 minutes gone, still the Netherlands 2, Qatar 0. But it's been a bit disjointed in the second half, and Van Gaal has made a couple of substitutions. Janssen and Berghuis are on, Klaassen and Depay off, and Qatar brought on 3 subs as well. Matari, the score of their lone World Cup goal, Bouldiaf and Assad. The Netherlands lead 2-0.
Thanks, Maz. Estrada is coming off, Michael Estrada. Their top scorer in qualifying, but unable to really trouble the Senegal goal tonight. And so Djorkaeff Riasco comes on to replace him with 63 minutes played.
Just watching Ana Valencia, he wasn't the player to come off, but he's barely had a kick in this second half. You're wondering how much he's got left in his legs. But then you weigh it up against if they are going to score, it's going to have to be him, you feel, because there's no one else to do it. It's do you keep him on, even though his mobility is more and more limited, just with that potential threat, just because when he gets a chance, he scores.
And that select band of strikers who've scored 6 goals in successive games. Eusebio, Paolo Rossi, Oleg Salenko. He was looking to try and become the first to score 7 successive goals at a country at a World Cup, but hasn't really worked out that way. But they're going to maybe have to leave him on there. Questions, bearing in mind he was stretched off against the Netherlands. Is he fully fit? But he's got to be their go-to man at the moment, because they're struggling to create the opportunities, Ecuador. The ball is lifted into the path of the penalty area, but it's touched out of play by Hincapié, and out it goes for a throw that Jacobs is wanting to take for Senegal, who are attacking, leading by a goal to 0. Cleared by Torres, up towards the halfway line. Free kick against the new man, Riasco, for a foul on Koulibaly. Another goal, Netherlands, Qatar, Maz Farouki.
And the subs have made an immediate impact for the Netherlands. 3-0 they now lead. Berghuis with the goal. He was set up by Janssen in the Qatar box. The Netherlands well on top, still leading Group A. They're going to go through as the winners from this group into the last 16. Netherlands lead by 3-0.
Yep, 7 points from 9 for the Netherlands. And Senegal, with this win, would leapfrog Ecuador into that runners-up spot for Group A, unless Ecuador can try and get an equaliser in the next 25 minutes or so. Ecuador, yellow shirts, playing from left to right, out to Preciado with his bushy hair on this near side the right. He goes infield. There was a challenge on Plata, and I think he was caught in the face by Idrissa Gueye. And Idrissa Gueye has been shown a yellow card that would rule him out of the last 16 encounter should Senegal make it through to the knockout stages. Gueye would now be suspended. And for the Everton midfielder, vastly experienced, 99 caps for him tonight, the joint leading appearance maker for Senegal, that's a real blow.
Here's a big blow. You feel a touch unfortunate. You led with the shoulder. It was just one that felt that he misjudged in terms of where his shoulder should have gone. There was no real malice in the challenge, but a little bit of pressure for Ecuador.
Free kick to Ecuador, right hand side, 10 yards in from the right touchline. It goes behind for a corner. We'll quickly nip back to Maz Farouki.
Third goal for the Netherlands has been ruled out. There was a right arm, the ball bounced off Gakpo's right arm in the build-up, so it's still Netherlands 2, Qatar 0.
Won't change anything though, will it, with Netherlands still going through as Group A winners. Thanks, Maz. Corner kick for Ecuador on this right-hand side, and it's touched it in the far post. Statuesque defending from Senegal. Casido of Brighton Hove Albion with a valuable equaliser. And Ecuador, all they had to do was avoid defeat. Totally unmarked to the far post, and he couldn't miss. Casido with a valuable touch, and Ecuador have levelled to stun Senegal. 1-1.
It's out of nothing. It's out of nothing, and it's as clinical as you want it to be. Brilliant ball in across the near post from the corner. whipped in with real pace. Body's just running across that near post, getting the glance on. As you say, Deno Casido drifted to that far post, completely unmarked. Senegal with their zonal marking, just allow him to be there. The player on the line, playing him onside. It's a simple finish for him. It's a simple goal. It's brilliantly executed. Torres with the header down. Casido with the finish. As it stands, they're going through.
What about the defending from Senegal?
Well, this is zonal marking for it. That you stand there and say, well, you've just got to win the first ball, because if you don't, there's that great big hole there at the far post. And they've looked so comfortable in this second half, Senegal. And it's something so simple that's cost them.
Moises Casido with his third goal for Ecuador, all of a sudden has put them in the box seat behind the Netherlands as far as Group A is concerned. And it's interesting, and you said this, Rob, right at the start of the second half, would Senegal's slender lead affect their approach to the game? And they haven't been as positive in this second half as they were in the first 45 minutes.
No, but they've been comfortable and they've looked fine. But there's always that danger of being in one goal. It just takes a momentary slip, and Casido there allowed the freedom of the 6-yard box to finish.
Ecuador have levelled, and should England top Group B, as a free kick drops in, Koulibaly, what a response for Senegal! The free kick from the right-hand side. This time it was Ecuador's defence that didn't deal with it, and it popped up to Koulibaly, who coolly right-footed slotted the ball in. They were level only for a matter of minutes, and Senegal are back in the driving seat, and it's Senegal who are eyeing a place in the last 16. And Koulibaly has scored his first goal for Senegal, and what an important goal it could be.
What a goal, what a response, an instant response from Senegal, and another set piece and another avoidable goal. Koulibaly's made the run across the near post. It's missed him, but he's just responded. It's come off. Valencia trying to clear the ball, I think. Charging back towards his own goal. Just hits him off his hip, off his thigh. And Koulibaly on the volley, 6 yards out. Striker's finish from the centre half. It's come to life.
Didn't he take it well?
Yeah. Time wasn't on his side there because he had so much above it. He waited and waited for the ball. Felt like it took an age to get to him. But composed and clinical.
And what a response from Senegal. They've changed the official timing. It was 3 minutes. But the first moment that they had to try and get back in front, and Senegal are doing that, and that has silenced the Ecuadorian support, banked up in their yellow shirts over on that far side, the left. And even when temporarily Senegal were heading out, I'm not convinced that the drums stopped beating from the Senegalese support away towards our right. They're going to be making a change. Aliou Cissé for Senegal down below. There's been a clash of heads meanwhile on the far side, and the physios from both teams are racing onto the pitch, but it looks like it's going to be a double change. Nampalys Mendy of Leicester City is going to be coming on, and is that Bamba Dieng as well, the player who almost joined Leeds United in the summer, then failed his medical, and now plays for Marseille. So Mendy will provide fresh legs in the midfield.
Yep, he's the City midfielder, and you're looking now to say you need cool heads in there, as all of a sudden this game's been thrown into turmoil. We're where we were at the start of the second half.
Yeah.
But it just feels like every attack now, every set piece really, They've gone from looking so comfortable, both sides on set pieces, to 6s and 7s.
As it stands, this is how Group A looks. Netherlands 7 points, Senegal 6, Ecuador 4, Qatar, the hosts, 0. Currently in Group B, with 1 game left to play, England 4, Iran 3, the United States 2, Wales 1. Live commentary coming up of Wales-England here on BBC Radio 5 Live. They haven't stopped dancing and singing, the Senegal supporters, throughout the whole evening. That double change is being made. So it's going to be Pathé Ciss coming off. That is going to be being replaced by Nampalys Mendy. And coming off then is going to be Iliman Ndiaye, the Sheffield United player, to be replaced by Bamba Dieng. So our one member of the Jambars Academy from Sali in Senegal comes off, another one comes on in Bamba Dieng. 16 minutes remain.
Yeah, 2 like-for-like swaps, as you say, Dano. Fresh legs in midfield. Dieng will come in on this right-hand side, and Mendy sitting in front in the middle. He is also a tall man, which, in the state of the game and the way it's gone, can only help in defending set pieces, because both teams need help with it right now.
So those two changes have been made. 16 minutes are remaining, and Senegal on BBC Radio 5 Live are leading by 2 goals to 1. We're across Africa on the World Service. Looking Senegal for the first time in 20 years to reach the knockout stages of a World Cup. Ecuador just have to try and find a little bit more energy in the next 15 minutes. Just 1 more goal. They only have to avoid defeat. They want to take a quick throw, but there's going to be 2 balls on the pitch. Preciado is quick to cut that one out. Senegal have every white shirt back. Now it's with Torres. Certainly, Aliou Cissé, the coach, these are going to feel like a very, very long 15 minutes for Senegal. The attendance is 44,569 inside the Khalifa International Stadium. With the Dutch leading by 2 goals to 0, we can safely say that we know a quartet of the last 16. France, Brazil, Portugal and Netherlands. But who will claim that 5th place out of these 2? Ecuador could still have something to say in the next 14.5 minutes. Sarmiento of Brighton gets away from the challenge of Koulibaly. Sends over the cross, headed up in the air by Diallo, headed forward by Preciado. And then the substitute down into the ground. In fact, no, it wasn't. It was Plata, wasn't it? Gonzalo Plata. It was good control, but his left-footed effort was saved by Edouard Mendy.
Yeah, needs to hit it first time. It's a clever header down. He was in enough space that just felt like he needed to take a touch, because it wasn't going to sit right. It never actually did sit right for him, bobbling around, in and around the penalty area, in and around his body, didn't come down.
Ball play forward for Ecuador. That was a good challenge, stepping forward from Jacobs, the left back. Senegal have the ball, and it's with Mendy. Koulibaly hits it long, forward, right-footed. Sarr's first touch is to take it on the inside of Preciado, and he goes down under a challenge. The assistant referee has raised his flag. It's a corner. He just couldn't keep his feet, could he, Sarr?
No, not sure how he got a corner there, because Preciado never actually got a touch on the ball. Certainly tangling. The last touch off Sarr. Senegal not quite worked out what they've done with their shape here. They've gone to a very, very narrow 4-3-3, which will only invite the fullbacks of Ecuador to go forward when they do get the ball. So it's it's going to be an interesting last 10-15 minutes.
Might be 15-20 with the 4th official. They're looking for back-to-back wins at a World Cup for the first time. They lead by 2 goals to 1. Senegal on this near side, the left. Jacobs with the corner, headed out at the near post. Out it goes for a throw to Senegal. In Dakar, Sally and places beyond, they'll be looking at the watches and just thinking and hoping for time just to quickly run away, but it never works out that way when you're a supporter of a side that is hanging on with such a tight margin. And we have 12 minutes remaining, but at least Senegal have it at the Ecuador end of the field. And Ismail Jacobs will take the corner kick once again. It'll be an outswinger. Left-footed, curling away from goal. Koulibaly rising in the air. Won't go out of play. Jar is there to clip it back into the danger area. Headed out by Hincapié for Ecuador. And then it'll be tidied up at the back by Mendy. Nampalys Mendy, that is, to Edouard Mendy, all in red, who clears it long downfield. Torres with a strong looping header forward. Senegal with Pape Gueye in the midfield. But Idrissa Gueye will have to shake off the disappointment of that suspension that will rule him out of any encounter in the last 16 for picking up a yellow card here tonight. Ecuador with the substitute, Joaquim Riasco. That was neatly done by Sabali, the right back. Ball played forward. Idrissa Gueye plays it out towards Sarr on this near side. Certainly not afraid to still be committing white shirts forward. That was Jacobs offering the support on this near side, the left. Ecuador get the ball away. Senegal will press midway through the Ecuador half. Riasco plays it into a central area. Caicedo's forward ball to Sarmiento on the left was intercepted. Mendy, forward ball, nice little touch on the inside. They were looking to try and get Bamba Dieng forward. Over on that far side, Senegal attack on the right. Ecuador with Estepinian penned inside his own half and then cleared away by Hincapié. Senegal lead 2-1, and we have just over 10 minutes remaining, Rob Green.
Yeah, it's all a little bit frenetic from Ecuador. They've lost control of what they're trying to do. They're just trying to toss it forward as fast as they can, and it's just not working. They just need to take the time because they've still got 10 minutes plus the inevitable 10 minutes or so injury time, which we seem to get at the end of these games. It is, you know, it just needs cool heads in there because you're not going to do it just by launching balls forward. That's for the last 2-3 minutes. You've got time.
That'll certainly shred a few nerves in Senegal, one would imagine. Estepinian with the cross just over the head of Riasco. Won't necessarily fall to Preciado on this near side, the right, and cleared away. Mentioned that the World Cup Daily podcast will have all of the reflections and the analysis and the debate from the fallout of this first set of matches and the final group games in this World Cup in Qatar. There is also a special edition of the World Cup Daily out later this evening. Maurizio Pochettino has come to the studio in Doha. He's sat down with Lady Kelly to talk lots of things. I imagine that Messi comes up in conversation, and so that you'll be able to get through BBC Sounds. But 9 minutes remain here, and it's still Ecuador 1, Senegal 2.
A bizarre decision there from Torres. He's under pressure on the halfway line. They've kept the ball quite well, and rather than going back to his goalkeeper Galindez, he toe punts it diagonally straight out of play. No bounces. You're just that sort of decision making when you've only got minutes to go. If you can keep control of the ball, keep the pressure on. There's tired bodies, tired minds out there.
Jacobs, good strong run from the left-hand side. Sarr plays the ball back towards Mendy. Mendy now out towards Sabali. Little touch from the right back forward. Shot fired in! It was a sharp turn from Boulaye Dia. Quickly spun away from his marker and rifled a right-footed shot that was off target.
That was a really good turn. Wasn't matched by the finish. Again, thinking on that angle and it being closed down, maybe a better option.
Here is Enner Valencia for Ecuador. Under 8 minutes of normal time remaining. And that was well defended by Abdou Diallo, the Leipzig defender, to use his strength to let the ball just run out for a goal kick. You know, I said to you earlier that when they went 1-0 up Senegal, they probably felt that they'd sat back a fraction. Do you think now that they've quickly gone back 2-1 in front, that they've adopted the approach they had in the first half and they've been a little bit more on the front foot, taking the game to Ecuador?
I think they've just got more energy. They've got more to give, and I don't think that, you look at their Enner Valencia, I don't think he's got anything left to give. As we were saying before, he's maybe a little bit tired, his touches were going out. The ball rolled out of play there. Diallo just saw it out so comfortably. There's very little fight left in him now, and it just looks like Senegal have got so much more to give.
Galindez with a clearance, all in blue away towards our left-hand side. Enner Valencia heads it on, then he's just checked there. Oh, the referee has said get up. I thought there was, it was the challenge from Abdou Diallo. I just thought he came across and checked him with no attempt to play the ball, but...
Well, after saying he's got no energy whatsoever, he was away then, sandwiched between Diallo and Koulibaly. They weren't letting him through, that's for sure.
That was like two bouncers at a nightclub door saying, not tonight, son, you're going home. There was
talking from experience.
You're going, yeah. No way through, as they just closed off the avenue. And here is Diallo, who chips the ball long with a curling pass out towards the right-hand side. 6 minutes remain. Senegal are doing what they had to do. They're leading by 2-1. They had to win. Ecuador only needed a point as Mendy dances his way through the Ecuadorian midfield out towards Sabali on the right-hand side. Sarmiento, though, is back there, and now all of a sudden Ecuador are back in possession. And that was a free kick given away, and Ecuador will have a free kick midway through their own half, and there's going to be another change for Ecuador. And it's going to be Perozzo who's going to be coming on. This is a player who, when he was at Boa Vista, had been monitored by Manchester City. No surprise to see him pitching up at one of the clubs who are part of the City group, Troyes, in France. It's the Champagne region, that, isn't it, Troyes? They need a Champagne moment, well, to Ecuador.
It's a strange sub that, with minutes to go potentially in your World Cup, bringing on a like-for-like change at right back.
So he has replaced Preciado. Very similar in that they both have the bushy hair. Claire McDonald follows us at 5 o'clock with Drive. England-Wales later on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Kick-off at 7 o'clock UK time. 4.5 minutes remain of normal time. We're going to have a tense finish here in the Khalifa International Stadium. It's a free kick to Ecuador. It's about 6 yards forward of the centre circle. Plata is going to take it. Senegal have got everybody back, all in white on the edge of their penalty area. Plata directs it towards Felix Torres. It comes off the head of the Ecuador central defender. It'll be a Senegal throw on that far side. They're looking to qualify for the knockout stages since 2002, when they were under the managership of Bruno Metsu. Cisse, he was a player in that tournament. He played 4 of the 5 games, and he's set to take them to the knockout stages unless we have a late goal.
No, you're saying that one volley chance in this second half for Ecuador. Other than that, other than the goal, they've not had a lot to show.
Forward ball to Enner Valencia. Comes forward to Plata, hooks it from the right corner of the area to the edge of the box. There is Mendy, waits for the ball to settle, on the run, volleys it away. Downward header by Nkapie. And a free kick goes in favour of Senegal, as that was Bamba Dieng who was brought to the ground. Free kick to Senegal inside the centre circle.
Yeah, good play. Managed to hold off his man, get his body in the way, just take a touch and go down, and slowly kill the game, eat up the seconds.
The Netherlands are going through as Group A winners. They lead Qatar 2-0. Senegal currently are in second position with 6 points. And Senegal, through the potential match winner of Kalidou Koulibaly, as the shot is spilt by the goalkeeper, and then Galindez quickly pounces forward to gather it in at the second time of asking. But the 31-year-old central defender, his first goal for Senegal on his 67th appearance, gives Senegal the precious lead, and by my watch 2 minutes of normal time remain. You're listening to 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Ecuador looking for a late strike, lifted forward to Plata. Koulibaly with the volleyed clearance on the edge of his penalty area. Comes out to this near side. Cifuentes, back with Torres. Fullbacks are pushed on both right and left, quite high. They look for Estupiñán on the left-hand side. His downward header into the penalty area, cleared by a tumbling Koulibaly. Out it goes for an Ecuadorian throw.
I get the feeling it's more and more desperate now from Ecuador. Longer and longer balls. Just need to keep the composure, create one more opening maybe.
You could be looking at potential England opponents in the last 16. Not that we're getting ahead of ourselves. Estupiñán with the cross from the left, and it was a header from Sami Ento, his Brighton teammate, that was easily saved by Edouard Mendy.
I've seen it before with Senegal, that the centre-halves immediately drop and say, well, I'll tell you what, you can head it from 12, 13 yards, because we back Mendy to make the save.
Go on then, always a bit of fun. I used to have a decent gauge of added on time in Champions League and Premier League matches, but this World Cup has completely skewed that now. Haven't got a Scooby-Doo. You could have 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes.
Eight.
You're going to go 8?
Yep.
We will wait and see. A little bit like when you used to pin the tail on the donkey, wasn't it? Hazard a guess. Rob Green's gone 8 minutes. Higher, lower. What was that? Play your cards right, wasn't it? Ball given away. We'll find out now, because here comes the fourth official. Oh, it's lower. It's 6. Considerably lower.
I'm not going home with a cuddly toy. But they've got 6 minutes. They're going to create one big chance, you feel, maybe, if they keep the composure, if they manage to get up the pitch. They have to get it right.
Senegal have 6 minutes to secure a place in the last 16. Ecuador need a goal in that period. Estupiñán forward, far side to left. Yellow shirts, navy shorts, crosses. Kneed away by Koulibaly. Lifted in towards the edge of the penalty area by Sami Ento. Clash of heads there, was there? Challenge has gone actually against Parozzo, the substitute. It'll be a free kick to Senegal. They've dealt with the latest attack.
Yep, you've got 4 or 5 attacks left. Tops, high fives there. Seen the first one off. Take the time. Edouard Mendy, using his experience, goes to get the drink behind the goal. He's got 30 yards to run, to jog up, to slowly launch the ball.
If it is England-Senegal, I'm not sure. I don't think England have ever lost to African opposition. They certainly haven't played Senegal before. As Ecuador are attacking, Estupiñán swings over a deep ball from the left-hand side. It's away from Valencia. It'll be kept in play by Cifuentes, and he gets a throw on this near side to right. 4.5 minutes remain, a minimum. Cissé, the coach of Senegal, looks very tense and anxious down below. Cifuentes wins a corner off Idrissa Gueye. It's a corner kick to Ecuador. They equalised earlier in the game to make it 1-1. With a corner on this side, they'll hope that they can defend better this time, Rob.
Yep, this is their best chance for a goal. This is the best chance to stay in the World Cup, because they've shown precious little in this game other than the one set piece that they have had.
Time is running out for Ecuador. Hernan Galindez, the Ecuadorian goalkeeper, looks like he's praying outside the centre circle. It's a corner kick. It's delivered towards the far post, and it's clawed behind by Edouard Mendy with his twisting body behind for another corner on that far side to left.
Well, they were waiting behind him. He knew that they were waiting. Caicedo was waiting behind him, scorer of the goal. That's that space he was waiting for the goal itself.
Galindez can't look. All in blue, crouching down. We have 3 minutes remaining of stoppage time. Corner kick from the left-hand side, it's an in-swinger. Crowd of white shirts head the ball away, repelled at the near post. Ecuador 1, Senegal 2, BBC Radio 5 Live. Ecuador with a throw on the left-hand side. Back to Estepinian, he'll wrap his left foot around it. In it comes from deep. Torres had stayed forward. Senegal can break. Handball surely, and it's run away anyway from Bamba Dieng. And it'll be a free kick. It was spotted by the referee, and it gives another opportunity for them to go long with a set piece just left of the centre circle. This is agonising for Senegal. Not that those dancers are just rocking from side to side very, very coolly, unperturbed as the high ball in towards the penalty area. The Netherlands have beaten Qatar 2-0 to confirm their place as Group A winners. They will face the runners-up from England and Wales's group. They're the fourth side to go through, joining France, Brazil and Portugal. Cross from the left. Ecuador with a flick header from Perozo, and the referee, Clement Turpin, has signalled that that will be a goal kick, much to the delight and relief of Senegal.
That was a good ball in, a good flick on. Two Ecuador players throw themselves on the ground because they know that they're not going to make it. They're desperate for any decision. But you have to say, Senegal, that one slip on the set piece. After that first 15 minutes, they've been the better side.
Defensive reinforcements. Boulaye Dia is coming off. Pape Abou Cissé of Olympiacos is coming on. He's a 6'6" defender. That's what you want.
He's also got goalie gloves on.
That's a towering presence. So all of a sudden, the big number 4, 5 years he spent playing in Greece. A reserve centre-back just slots in alongside Koulibaly and Diallo. Defensive reinforcements for the next 60 seconds, and that's all that remains for Senegal. And we're inside those 60 seconds as the ball is clattered long by Koulibaly. The potential match winner for Senegal. Ecuador go long. Headed away by Diallo. Headed further away as it goes up towards Bamba Dieng. Comes now out towards Cifuentes. Ecuador have it. Plata goes long. Good strong header by the new substitute, Abou Cissé. And then the challenge from Mendy. He certainly had a good effect there since he's come onto the field of play in that holding midfield role, the Leicester City player. By my watch, we're inside the last 10 seconds. It's now or never for Ecuador. Plata hits it long. So many yellow shirts inside the penalty area. And the referee blows his whistle. There was an infringement in that penalty area. And the Senegal flags are now flying. Senegal know that their moment has almost arrived.
Well, it's been all hands to the pump for the last 5 minutes, but you're expecting it, a goal up. It's such a big game for both sides that realistically it's been hopeful from Ecuador. There's nothing that they've been able to produce that's asked any questions. Mendy barely made a save in the game. I have to say, after the first 2 performances showed such energy and vigour, they've not really managed to reproduce it for a third time.
Senegal are on the verge. Their supporters dancing in a joyous mood away towards our right-hand side. No! And the Senegal players, almost to a man, drop to their knees because for the first time in 20 years, Senegal, for only the second time, are in the knockout stages of a World Cup. And the match winner is Koulibaly of Chelsea with his first goal for his country. And they finish as Group A runners-up. Aliou Cissé was there as a player back in 2002. and he's navigated Senegal to the knockout stages now as a manager. Ecuador 1, Senegal 2, and who knows, even potential opponents for England.
Well, they got asked the question at the start of the game. They needed to come up with an answer. They did that first 15 minutes. They didn't feel like they were at the races, but then they got going and they were the better team. You have to say on the night they've deserved the win, albeit 3 set pieces deciding it. Had more of an idea, more of a purpose. Look to go through to the next round. They'll be watching later to see who they'll be playing.
Certainly they will. Sarr's penalty, the Watford player, just before half-time, gave them a 1-0 lead at the break. They were the better team. Ecuador were disappointing. Brighton's Caicedo equalised midway through the second half, unmarked at the far post, but the Senegal response was almost immediate. Within 2 minutes, Koulibaly with a well-executed right-footed volley as it popped up to about 8 yards out. And Senegal, for the first time at a World Cup, with back-to-back wins. They were the team under pressure. They were the team that needed the victory. That's what they had to do, and they've achieved it. And so it's finished in Group A here in the Khalifa International Stadium. Ecuador 1, Senegal 2, and Netherlands top the group with 7 points, and Senegal go behind them to the group stages on 6.